Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Micah White, who will be fighting on Fury Challenger Series 11, February 4th. Hello, Micah. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Micah, you will be making your pro debut. It will be a fight against Jacob Romano. So, if you can tell me, what do you think about this opponent and how your camp is going right now?
Yeah, man, camp's going really good. My original opponent, he backed out about a week or two ago, but we got a new replacement. Um, his name's Angelo Trujillo, but I feel really confident about the matchup. I feel like I'm better than him every area the fight goes. I'm better on the feet, better with the grappling, better with the wrestling. So I'm just very, very confident in my preparation and just taking it one day at a time. Camp's hitting pretty hard, but it's going good.
But it will be still a flyweight bout.
Yes, sir. Still at 125.
And when you are right now in training camp, how your days are looking like?
So I have a pretty mixed schedule. So I split my training between Main Street boxing and Muay Thai and 4 Ounce Fight Club, and then I'm also a wrestling coach at Rise Wrestling. So every day it's kind of a little bit different. Some days in the mornings I'll be at Main Street. At nights I'll do 4 ounce, and then on the nights like that I coach, I'll do Main Street in the morning, coach at night. It's a pretty good mixture, but it's a good mix between MMA drilling, training, and then on certain days, harder sparring and pads and things like that as well.
And in your amateur career, you actually defeated very good fighters. Like three of your last opponents were on the really high level. And when was the point that you decided to go as the pro? What was the like main reason for this? And did you like feel that is a perfect moment for this?
Yeah, man. I mean, when I was an amateur, you got to do the thing of building yourself and kind of learning the things outside of just the fights, getting that down. But once I reached the highest level of the amateurs, I was ranked number one, and I was fighting all the best guys in Texas for me to fight till whenever I fought for the belt earlier last year. And then the next, best contender was up, and not that the fights were easy, but my preparation, I feel like my skill was on a much different level than even the best amateurs. And so I knew, and me and my coaches talked, and my dad, and we figured it was time for us to take my skill to the next level. And I think we did it perfect. I had 9 fights as an amateur. That's a lot of fights, and I feel like I developed myself well, developed my skill set well, and now ready to take on that next chapter of going pro.
You were a champion in the Fury FC, which is like one of the top promotion in the US. And how sweet was that you become a flyweight champion of Fury FC?
Oh man, it was awesome. It was awesome. Being able to at the time go into enemy territory, a different hometown, and come home with the belt. It was awesome being with my family and knowing. I always knew whenever I was fighting, I was one of the best amateurs on the scene, and to officially have the belt and have the title as champion, I mean it was awesome. It was amazing.
And if we can talk a little bit about your beginnings in the sport, what was the main reason that you decided to train MMA?
Yeah, so I started originally any martial arts when I was 5. Obviously, I was always kind of smaller and used to get bullied a little bit, and so my parents put me in just like karate as like self defense and to learn kind of how to defend myself. And from there, I just fell in love with it, man. I did karate, specifically Jeet Kune Do, for about 2.5 years, and then once I was 7, I transitioned to Brazilian Jiu Jitsu under Travis Took at Team Took. Did that for 3 years competitively, and then once I transitioned into middle school, I went into amateur boxing. Did that for 3 years, and then finally I wrestled all 4 years in high school, and now it's bringing it all together in MMA. So it's been a long journey, kind of breaking up each aspect of the game, but it's been awesome.
So you almost whole your life like train like
Yeah,
different kind of.
yeah, it's really all I know. I've been training my whole life, so I've just been kind of immersed in this game. I've been very blessed with the opportunities and the people that I've met along the way, and I've made a lot of great connections and relationships through this sport. And yeah, I'm blessed to be where I'm at today.
And what is the favorite part of your training? Because you like tried so many sports. So what right now is the main thing that you like?
Man, the main thing, just because I mean the training is going to be hard, it's going to be work. I feel like overall training with this sport, my favorite thing is the people that you meet and the relationships you build. I've trained at a lot of different gyms. I've trained at a lot of different places around the country, and I've made a lot of lifelong relationships through this sport, through training. I mean, there's going to be the days where it's hard and you're tired and you're getting beat up, and if you only do it just for the sport, a lot of times you can wear you out and you get burnt out. So some of those things beyond the actual sport of MMA is what really makes it all worth it. It kind of helps you keep pushing is those close teammates that make sure and keep you accountable to be at your best.
And if you can talk a little bit more about your camp, when right now where you right now you are training in.
Yeah, so I like I said, I split my camp with Main Street Boxing and Muay Thai, as well as 4 Ounce Fight Club. My head coach is Crew Bob Perez at Main Street. He coaches guys like Derek Lewis in the UFC. We have a lot of good regional guys. Mono Martinez is one of my guys that I've been training with for a long time, and we have a lot of really good guys on the come up on that scene. And then with 4 Ounce, it's a killer gym, killer mentality, killer grind. We push each other and we really work. It's head coached by Daniel Pineda, who's in the UFC. I mean, and I have the best bodies that I could ask for at that gym. A lot of good local guys like Alden Correa, Jonathan Davis. I mean, the list goes on and on. Sebastian Rodriguez. I mean, we got a bunch of dudes. I mean, there's too many to name. We have so many good guys, and then as well as some of us flyweights that made it to the next level. Josh Van, he recently made it to the UFC. He's 2-0 now. He's a big inspiration as far as we're close in size and age and experience, and he's on the highest level. So it's a great split between the two gyms. I get really good coaching and work, and then really good bodies and hard work and coaching at both. So it's been an amazing camp moving back home to Houston.
And you named so many great fighters, like great prospects. It's like cool to see what's gonna be in like 2 years, like Joshua Van career, because he's also one of the really top prospects. And you also mentioned Daniel Pineda, who when I'm like thinking about him, I think about fighter who can finish everyone, because I think that almost
Absolutely.
all of his wins are
All
by finish.
And that's how we train, man. We train to finish. We train to dominate. I even whenever I'm coaching my wrestlers and when we're training, we talk a lot about how there's a difference between training just to win or training not to lose, and then training to really dominate and perform. And that's what we do, man. We push each other, we kill each other in the room, so then we can all celebrate and shine when the lights are on. And it's a great mix of we love each other, so we're gonna beat each other up, and we want what's best for each other. We're all rising, man. I expect big things out of both gyms in this 2024 year. I have like 6 teammates on my same fight card on February 4th that'll be competing with me. So I expect a lot of big things. I think there's gonna be multiple of us more in the UFC or Contender Series getting our shot this year. So it's gonna be a good year for Main Street and for 4 Ounce.
Watching your fights, I think that everybody can say that you are very like skilled in every area. But if you can like spend a few months training one thing that, let's say, that you think that you need to improve, what would you choose?
That's a good question. I think I would have to focus specifically on, I would say, like a mixture between boxing and jiu-jitsu. I feel like I've focused both on those areas in the past, and I've made very big improvements doing so. And I feel like the most recent thing I focused on is my wrestling while being in high school. So if I could, really hone in on the grappling again and finding more submissions and submission defense once I get people to the ground with the jiu-jitsu, or obviously just like that pure original boxing base. There's really no substitute for that. So those are probably what I would focus on.
And do you see yourself in, let's say, that 1 or 2 years winning a Fury FC flyweight professional title?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think I definitely, if God willing and everything goes right, in 2 years, I can have my shot on the Contender Series or a short notice. Nowadays you get 5, 6 and 0, you're right there knocking on a shot. I plan to have hopefully 4 fights this year if God willing, no injuries and everything goes well. And this year 4-0, take good fights next year 2, 3 and 0. That'll make me 6, 7 and 0. That's where you talk about a title or a short notice. So that's the plan. If everything goes the way it's supposed to, God willing, that's the plan.
Especially that flyweight division in Fury FC, I think that is like great. It's full of also a very, very good young talent. So I think that if you will be like 5-0 with 3 or 4 big wins, it's like you can even skip a title and to be honest, go to the UFC, especially that you have a great amateur record.
Absolutely. I mean, the roster just keeps getting deeper and deeper, man. Fury's growing as we speak. They're doing such a great job of growing their promotion, putting on great shows. They're on UFC Fight Pass. They have good relationships with people in the UFC, and so it's a very simple process. It's not easy, but it's simple. You win your fights, you get good finishes, you get people to like you, you get more eyes on you. Then the big show is going to call your name. It's simple. So as long as we know the formula being Fury fighters. Eric, he's a great promoter, and he lets he's very he's very straight up. He makes good fights, but he's like, hey, you got to win this. You got to get some finishes, and then we can try to push you to the next level. So they do a really good job at getting their guys to the next level.
Right now you are 21 years old, and
Yes, sir.
let's say in 4 years when you will be 25, when do you think that you will be at that point? Do you think that you will be in the UFC, maybe close to the rankings?
I definitely think I'll be in. I definitely believe I'll be in the UFC. I The thing with me, man, is I want to take this route. I don't want to just make it to the UFC. I want to be there, and then I want to make my name known, and I want to climb the rankings. So whether that means we just got to the UFC or we're 1-2-0 in the UFC, doesn't matter. But that's definitely the goal, and that's definitely where we'll be by then.
Also, in my opinion, it's like a little bit shame that PFL actually doesn't have a flyweight division, because I think that flyweight division is one of the the best divisions right now. So I think that the young prospects and also the experienced fighters should have a more platform than only a UFC.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's like I definitely think the flyweights don't get as much credit as we deserve. Yeah, we're the little guys, but we bang, man. We fight. I mean, even the UFC was very close to cutting the flyweight division until Henry Cejudo kind of saved it. So I think even in the UFC there is a division we still don't get the credit we deserve, but there's definitely a lot of good regional guys that are coming up, and I think are going to just make the division more and more exciting. Especially, I mean, like I said, a lot of the guys that I train with that I know are right there on that cusp. We're going to make a big shout in the flyweight division, regionally and on the big scene. So it'll be very soon to where, the flyweights are getting more and more recognition and notice.
And do you have a flyweight fighter that you would like to face in the future or even near future?
No, man. The biggest thing, like I said, we want to take smart fights. We want to build myself the right way. I don't really have any beef or anything like that with anybody where I'd want to fight. I just want to put on good fights. I want to entertain, and I want to make it to the next level. So whoever I need to face and I need to go to make it to the next level, bring it on. Let's go. So.
And overall, do you like to watch UFC fights or even overall MMA fights?
Yeah, I do. It's I have to kind of clock out from training mode and fight mode and be able to kind of like enjoy it as a fan, because it can be very easily just want to watch it and try to watch film and pick it apart to help yourself. But it's good on some of those big exciting cards and the big names to be able to just kind of unwind and kind of free your brain and just watch it as a fan.
So do you have a like one fighter that you are a fan of, that you like watching?
Yeah, well, my favorite all time, he's not fighting anymore, but George St. Pierre, that's my goat. That's who I really looked up to when I was growing up in the game. Um, I mean, now I like to I really like Volkanovski. He's smaller. I'm obviously smaller in a smaller weight class, and he usually is fighting people bigger than him. So just the way he fights and the way his style is with who he gets matched up on. But I really like a lot of people. There's a lot of good guys coming up, but that's probably who I like watching the most.
And if when you are watching the fights, do you like to pick some things from other fighters, like analyzing their style and try to, let's say, that emulate something from them?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think a big thing that I feel like I've done good at growing up in the sport is a lot of people they don't learn their lesson um, or take lessons unless they're the one going through it. Like, for example, if someone just had a really bad weight cut and it caused them to lose their fight, why would I cut weight the same way they just did just to test if it works on me, right? And so I've done a really good job of trying to really watch, especially like my teammates fight and people I work with every day and see maybe the mistakes they might make, and I try to fix them in training before I make them myself in a fight. So I definitely like to watch and emulate and study and see what people do good, what people do bad, and then try it out, in training or in sparring myself to see how it works with my style and my game. And I like to kind of take a little bit from everybody and then piece it in my fashion and my style the best that I can.
And when you are watching your teammates fights, are you more stressful than when you are coming to the cage?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's more stressful just because you have no control. You train with these guys and you get these close bonds and you know how bad they want it and, all their families there and you know how much work they put in. And so you really want what's best for them, but you have no control on what happens. So I definitely get really nervous when my teammates fight and people that I'm close to fight. Um, as nervous as me, I don't know. I mean, I get nervous always for my fights. I am human and I care, but it's just about you have to really, whenever I'm about to walk to the cage, all the nerves go out the way. You have your butterflies in the locker room and you're warming up, but as far as when it comes time to fight time, it all just kind of goes out the window and it's fight time. It's ready to go.
Uh, and do you have any maybe visualization or meditation techniques before your fights, or you are just accepting that there will be some additional stress, some butterflies, and you are okay with it without any help?
Yeah, no, I definitely like to visualize a lot. I mean, I go to sleep many nights and wake up many mornings thinking about my fight. I've been blessed to have 9 fights now. I'm experienced to where I can really picture myself in there. I can feel the cage, I can smell it, I can hear the crowd. I can really put myself in that environment and visualize my opponent across from me. Whereas before, I kind of just get in there, I'm like, all right, let's fight. But now having that experience and maturing more in the sport, I can really kind of picture that and really try to put myself in that familiarity. So whenever I come fight time, it's not something new.
And I think that because you are actually a very experienced fighter, you are young, you will make your pro debut, but also you are an experienced fighter. So I think that this experience also give you some kind of additional confidence that you know that you can do it even when you are young.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, I'm very experienced to where I'm confident in my skills, but also very young to where I have so much more room to grow and so much more ways to improve. So it's just constantly improving, never being settled where I'm at.
What do you like to do when you have a free time? Let's say that you are after your fights and you can't train or you just want to relax.
Want to go home and just kind of lay down and relax. I really just like spending time with my people and my family, my girlfriend, just really just like being around people. I don't even care if we're all just kind of sitting down or playing games or just talking. I just really like kind of being around my family and my close ones. Whether that's, going out to eat or just hanging out at the house, doesn't really matter. I just really like being around the people I'm close with.
Also, I have a few additional questions, but it's also outside of fighting.
Okay,
Do,
okay.
do you have a bucket list, the list that the things that you would like to do before it will be end?
Just in general, not fighting.
Yes, yes.
Um, Nothing too specific. I mean, I have a couple of things that'd be cool that, obviously I'd like to do. Um, I'm like 50-50 on one. I kind of want to skydive. That's one thing I've thought about, but I also don't. Everyone that I asked that skydives, they're like, man, like it was so fun. It was so great, but I would never do it again. And I'm like, man, what's that level of, fun and excitement that makes you enjoy it, but that also same counteracting of fear and anxiety that makes them never want to do it again. But that'd probably be one, maybe in a couple of years I might man up and do. I think the really only other thing, like as far as bucket list would go, is probably I travel certain places I really like to travel. So I think Tokyo is a big one on that list. I would like to go to. Um, that's kind of just been a bucket list thing for me that I've always wanted to do.
So maybe when you will be a UFC fighter, they can put you on the like different card, Japan, Brazil, all over
Hey,
the world.
yeah, I'll take it. I'll do it.
And if you can learn one skill, but outside of MMA, it can be anything from any area. What kind of skill would you like to learn and know?
I wish I could just be engraved and know Spanish. I know a lot of people that I train with and that I know that are Spanish speaking, and I wish I could be able, if I could learn that, that'd be awesome to be able to fully communicate and understand some people. That'd probably be a big one.
And let's say that you are on the deserted island and you can take one thing, only one thing with you. What thing would you choose?
Oh man, that's hard. That's hard. Um, Man, maybe like I don't know, maybe like a machete or something to use to try to hunt, as well as like cut down and build a shelter and things like that. Probably something like that, something useful.
Yeah, I think that it's a very good choice because it can be
Yeah.
like used for many things actually.
Yes. Try to. Yes, for sure.
And one last question: what is one goal for you for 2024? It can be both from like a professional perspective and or also a personal one.
You know what? I think 2024 goal is to go 4-0 as a professional, as well as become more respected and experienced as a coach. I'm kind of tapping in more with wrestling. I'm potentially opening up my own MMA program because that's something I want to do after fighting is coach. And so just kind of the more experience I can get now while I'm still competing um, would be great. So I would love to kind of build on both of those things.
So I hope that it will eventually happen for you in 2024, and that you after 2024 you will be a like guy to watch, and everybody will talk about a new face in the flyweight division.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.